about today's video, just to preface, a couple weeks ago I shared this video on Instagram.
My daughter was
it's
a
cute.
water birth turned emergency C-section.
Watch it. I can link it below. Not everybody knows that I started this gig 12 years ago and I actually had my kids while I lived overseas. And then my sister had a baby last year and it brought up all of these memories about a couple of things, but definitely the start to motherhood. And then as we get going, how that start to motherhood, how we feel about that journey, how it might impact our motherhood experience. I've got so many videos on this topic, you know, my C-section experiences, first one and second one. P.S. the second one was super healing. And so when the Canadian Association of Midwives reached out to me and asked me if I'd be interested in sharing some of their messaging, I was really intrigued because I didn't get to have that full midwife experience. I had the help of a midwife and she was amazing. And so I was really curious about like, what is this other option? How does this work in Canada? And because I didn't know, I figured there might be a few of you who didn't know. And so I got a real life midwife to sit down with me and share a little bit more about the experience in Canada and what that looks like. I'm also going to leave a link below if you're curious to check it out. It's havingababy.co and there's a ton of information because also it's not just about babies. They actually offer additional care. Incredible. Okay, back to the video. It is Take Your Kids to Work Day, so Esme is joining me on a little trip to Toronto. Then once my work thing is done, we're gonna hang out, so let's go. Anyone really into their color seasons? I'm playing with gold jewelry, but I never wear gold, but I feel like it goes well with this color scheme. Anyway, that is random and off topic, but let's go to Toronto. I made it. I have Claire with me, a real life midwife, and she's gonna give me a little bit more information because I was sharing with you guys at the start of the video. My experience, my start into motherhood was like a little bit different. And I just think the more you know, right? What can you expect from midwifery care?
So mostly it begins when you are pregnant. So when you are pregnant, you have, and in Ontario, right, you have the choice of having a family physician who does births, a midwife, or an obstetrician. I really encourage people to look into the different things that those healthcare providers do, the approaches that they take, because there's lots of things that are similar in the care that you'll receive, but everybody takes a little bit of a different approach. And so really understanding that is important to know what you want from your healthcare. There's a great website. It's called havingababy.co.
Yes.
And that's a great place to go to look at, there's a find a physician, and it really outlines what your different options are and how you can, that will help you make a decision. But really it's your decision what happens to your body when you're pregnant, and it's not my decision of what you do. I help you make those decisions. When you have a midwife in Ontario, you have the choice of where you have your baby, right? So midwives are the only healthcare providers who do planned out-of-hospital births. So you can have your baby at home. Personally, I love home births. They're so great. It's so great to deliver a baby at home and then tuck a family into their bed.
I can't even imagine.
Right? It's
just crawl in there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's such a nice experience.
That's amazing.
If you live in a place where there's a birth center, so again, we're in Toronto, and that's where I practice. So you can have your baby at the birth center.
So tell me a little bit more. I know that they, midwives in Canada, they don't just focus on pregnant people. There's other services. Tell me more about that.
I think it's a really exciting time in midwifery right now. There's lots of different models of care being looked at and different ways of providing care. So midwives, we do the kind of traditional prenatal pregnancy, postpartum for 6 weeks for both the postpartum person and the baby. But we also have new kind of ways of providing care coming around. Midwives might do things like expanded sexual and reproductive health. So you might be able to be seeing a midwife for things like your yearly PAP, for birth control, for STI testing, IUD insertions. And so these are some of the expanded roles that midwives are taking on, which I think it's really nice to have that same kind of idea of informed choice, but also knowing the person a little bit more who's providing you all those services that can be very personal.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, because once you've had babies, or maybe even if you choose not to have babies, you still have or a uterus that needs to be maintained and looked at and cared for over the next few years here. So I love that. So is there anything that you would recommend for a newly pregnant person who's considering midwifery care in Canada?
To think about your options and what you kind of want from your care and what you're thinking about in terms of your birth. Just check it out. You can make an appointment. You can look at practice websites. You can look at the Canadian Association of Midwives website, the Association of Ontario Midwives website, and then the Having a Baby Co website is great. It's really, that one's geared specifically towards clients. You don't have to want to have like an unmedicated home birth. There is lots of options.
That is such a valid thing to mention. Like,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. You're not like in a field giving birth with next to your midwife.
No.
Although, can I just tell you?
You might be able to,
You
though.
could if you wanted, if it's your backyard. I actually wanted to do a photo shoot with my kids and throw them in a banana leaf and be like, hey, I was in the field. I wasn't. I was in like private healthcare. It's different.
Yeah.
But that's so valid.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's not just one thing.
Yeah.
You can tailor it to what makes sense.
Yes,
To
and
what
it's-
you're looking for.
Like, it's a particular approach, right? Of like midwives, we do normal birth, right? We do normal low risk pregnancies and birth. And our approach is really that we expect that that's how your birth will go, right? We have access to the hospital and we have access to OBs and other doctors. Like, if something comes up in your pregnancy, we are trained to like know what that line is between like low risk and high risk, and when we might need to like involve an OB or involve your family doctor. And sometimes that's as simple as like you go for one appointment and you go see the OB for, you know, some aspect of pregnancy care, and they kind of say, yep, this is what's happening, here's our recommendation, and then but you stay in midwifery care, right? And we kind of help
Interesting.
you. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with me. I love that we expanded on my little short video I had on Instagram. You know, the more that you know, it can
Yes.
change how your start to motherhood can be,
Yeah,
right? So
for sure.
thank you so much. I
Yes,
appreciate
thank
you.
you.
And I'm going to leave some links below. So this is the chorus building. And this slide is hardly ever open, but it's open today. And we were here doing our interview, and now there's no way I'm not going down the slide. You might. Okay, good luck. Thumbs up. Was it good? Okay, my turn. Here we go. Are we ready? Oh my god. Oh god.
You went way faster than me. My shoes hit it like 10 times and I stopped.
I'm not okay.
My shoes hit it like 10 times and I just
Did you hear
stopped.
me scream?
Yes, everyone did.
There's no graceful way to exit. That was something. I picked up some speed.
You're actually embarrassing me.
Table is set for dinner. I ended up with one extra kid for dinner. Got a little carried away the last few hours. I actually had my mom, who lives in the Ottawa area. She was on my phone. We were chatting while I was cooking dinner. Let me show you what I made for dinner tonight. This is a family favorite. So this is pork tenderloin. I do this really nice dry rub on it. My brother-in-law made it one time. Kids love it. And then I have some broccoli, roasted broccoli, and some mashed potatoes. Delish. Just gonna plate it all up, bring it out, and we'll eat.
Is ready.
Me again. A big thank you to all of you for watching this video. Leave me some comments. Let me know what your start to motherhood was like, because everybody's looks different. Some of us choose not to have babies. Some of us choose to have babies. Some of us adopt babies. Some of us have C-sections. Some of us have water births, regular births. I mean, it goes on and on and on. I mean, you speak to any person who's had a baby, and I'm pretty sure that they're not the same. There's no two journeys that are identical, right? So a big thank you to the Canadian Association of Midwives for sponsoring today's videos. Thank you so much for watching, for liking, for commenting. As you know, supporting the clients and the brands that work with me allows me to continue to create amazing free content for you. So thank you so much. I will catch you in my next video. Bye, guys.